Hello and welcome. This morning we are going to be going over solving proportions. So what is a proportion? A proportion is really just when we have two fractions that are set equal to each other. It states that these two fractions, or these two ratios, are equal. So for example, we know that 3/4 is equal to 6/8. We know that these are equal to each other because if we try to simplify 6/8, well, 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. Divide 6 by 2, we get 3. Divide 8 by 2, we get 4. And so these are equal to each other. And we are going to be using a method of solving today known as cross multiplication. Maybe you've heard it before, maybe you haven't. Essentially, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be multiplying across. Okay, so we'll multiply 3 times the 8 and 4 times the 6. That is the cross multiplication that we're doing. So 3 times 8 on one side, 4 times 6 on the other, and we get 24 is equal to 24. Obviously, that is a true statement. So when we cross multiply, as long as the proportion is true, well, then the equation that we develop from cross multiplying will also be true. So let's jump into a few examples here. All right, starting off this first one, we have 2 over 5 is equal to 4 over x. So our goal is to solve for x. This one, it might be really easy to see that x is just going to be equal to 10. Right? I multiplied 2 by 2 to get 4. I multiplied 5 by 2 to get 10. However, I want to solve this using cross multiplication. So I'm going to cross multiply, and that gives me 2x must be equal to 20. Then I divide by 2, boom, I'm left with x is equal to 10, just like I had thought before. So whenever we have the variable in the denominator now, we know that we can use cross multiplication to solve. Before, we hadn't seen any problems where we had the variable in the denominator. And again, that's just what we're going to do. We'll cross multiply and we'll solve the equation from there. All right, this problem is a little bit more complex. So now we have 3 over 4 is equal to 9 over n plus 1. We're just going to do the same thing. Let's cross multiply. The one thing we have to be careful of here is this is 3 times all of n plus 1. So I'm going to write that n plus 1 in parentheses. And that's equal to 4 times 9. All right, well, now we can simplify. On the right side, I'm just going to do that multiplication and get 36. And on the other side, I'm going to distribute. So now I have 3n plus 3. I'll subtract 3 from each side. I get 3n is equal to 33. And then I'll just divide by 3 to solve. So I get n is equal to 11. You can always plug it back in to check. Let's see, if I plug it back in, I would get 9 over 11 plus 1, which is 9 over 12, which I know simplifies to 3/4. All right, so we know that we did it correctly, right? Always checking your answer here. And we'll finish it out. Here we have the variable in 2 different spots, but that is okay. We're just going to do that cross multiplication. So using cross multiplication, I have 9 times p minus 2. Again, I'm putting it in parentheses because that is, you can imagine that there's parentheses around the numerator there, and same thing, you can imagine that there's parentheses around this denominator to start. So that's 6 times p minus 7. So then I'll distribute. I get 9p minus 18 is equal to 6p minus 42. All right, well, I want to get my p's to one side, so I'll subtract 6p, subtract 6p. That gets rid of the p's on the right side. That gives me 3p minus 18 is equal to negative 42. I'll add 18 over. So I add 18, I get 3p is equal to, that's going to give me negative 24. and I'll finish it out by dividing by 3. That gives me p is equal to -8. Alright, hope this helped you guys solving proportions and solving whenever we have the variable in the denominator.